And I've been kind of studying the personal development industry for 11 years. And what I've come to understand now is that knowledge is not power, behavior changes. And I think that's where we have to focus is you can learn time management and you can learn productivity and you can learn humility and that kind of thing, like about it intellectually. But if you can't change your own behavior, then that's not going to do anything for you.
Hi everybody, welcome to Soulmates and Suitcases. My name is Lisa Braley and beside me is my amazing husband Scott Braley. If you haven't been to our podcast before, our podcast is a space where we have honest and open conversations about healing, resilience, relationship, mental health, and of course all those journeys that shape us. And today we do have a special guest in store. We do have Alan Lazaros with us. Welcome, Alan.
Welcome.
Thank you both for having me. I really appreciate it. I think the 21st century is very noisy. There's a lot of content on the internet, and I don't take it lightly that anyone's listening to me. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Oh, we
I
appreciate
like how
that.
that's put.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll tell a little bit about Alan and then we'll kind of deep dive into our conversation. Alan Lazaros is the founder and CEO of Next Level University, a global top 100 podcast with more than 2,400 episodes reaching over 1 million people in more than 180 countries. After becoming a top corporate performer as a computer engineer with an MBA, a nearly fatal car accident caused Alan to reevaluate his life and purpose. That experience led him into the world of personal development, where he spent more than a decade helping people reach their full potential through coaching, training, and podcasting. Alan is passionate about helping people achieve both external success and internal fulfillment through a heart-driven, no-nonsense approach to growth and self-improvement. As I said, welcome, Alan. Tell us maybe a little bit about yourself and what led you into this passionate work that you're doing.
Yeah, so again, very excited to be here. I'm going to try to condense 37 years into like 3 minutes.
Perfect.
All right, so born in 1988, we talked about this, born and raised in Massachusetts. I still live in Mass today. I always joke, I've never left Massachusetts and not regretted it. I'm joking. I love Massachusetts though. But anyways, so born and raised in 1988, grew up in an environment that was very difficult. The first thing that was very difficult was when I was 3 years old, almost 3. My sister was 6, my mom was 31, and my birth father was 28 at the time, and he died tragically in a car. Out of nowhere, like very sudden. Cops at the door, tough moment. I was only 3, so it was harder on my mom and my sister for sure, but I never knew my dad. So my dad was John McCorkle. Jim, Joe, John, Jane, Joan, Jeanette, 6 kids, all J. The reason my last name is Lazarus, I had a stepfather named Steve Lazarus from age 3 to 14. And this was the 90s. You guys are old enough to remember the 90s. This was .com bubble time. So he worked for a company called AGFA. They did hospital computers during the .com bubble. So we did very well. So from the outside in, we looked very successful. We had a yacht. We had snowmobiles. We grew up on a lake. We had vacations and boats and ski trips and all kinds of stuff. And my mom and stepdad liked to party, so that was a part of it. From the outside in, it looked great. From the inside out, my mom and stepdad did not get along. That's a polite way to put it. All right, so my stepdad leaves when I'm 14. Second hardest thing that's ever happened to me. So I'm 14. This is 1992 to the early 2000s is when my stepdad was around. He took 90% of the income with him. So he got the yacht and the apartment building. We got the house and the dog. He took his entire extended family with him as well. Never seen or spoken to a single one of them since. I'm 37 now. So it continues. Hardest year of my life, didn't know this at the time. Same year, my mom gets in a fight with my Aunt Sandy, her sister, and we get ostracized from her side of the family. To this day, I've only seen or spoken to 2 human beings from her side. And then keep in mind, when we were trying to be the Lazaruses, quote unquote, we didn't really associate with the McCorkles anymore. And then when I did reassociate with them, I looked just like my dad. It was kind of seeing the ghost of Christmas past type of thing. It was never really the same. So I kind of lost 3 families by the time I was 14. That same year, my sister moved out with her older boyfriend as well. So it was just me and my mom in that house alone. Man of the house by 14. Now, the other part of this is I went from boats and ski trips to I get free lunch at school now because our income is so low. I shop at Salvation Army. How do we keep the house in the family? How am I going to go to college? We don't have cable. Not going to starve, but definitely not wealthy by any means. My dream college, I said 3 minutes. It's going to be more than that. Sorry. My dream college was WPI, Worcester Polytechnic Institute. It's like a mini MIT in Massachusetts. Okay. It was 50 grand a year back then.
Ouch.
And so I went from I hope I get in when my stepdad was around to even if I do get in, I can't go. So I bootstrapped. I became this sort of super achiever, prove myself guy. I got straight A's through all of high school. I got all the scholarships and financial aid I possibly could. I was the obnoxious kid at the award ceremony that kept going up over and over and over again for every math and science award. Got into WPI, computer engineering, graduate with high distinction, master's in business, off to the races. I thought that success externally and wealth would solve my problems because when my stepdad left, we had money problems. Ended up a 1% earner in my early 20s. I paid off 84 grand worth of college debt in a single year. I ended up making 200 grand a year in my early 20s. It was 180 commissions. And I had 150 grand in a Vanguard account in my early 20s. I didn't know that this was weird until later. But anyways, so I did very, very well. Success. Awesome. And I learned to go without. My rent was $500. I lived with my girlfriend Courtney at the time. I drove a 2004 Volkswagen Passat. I grew up after my stepdad left not needing much. So I just kept that. So I just invested all my money in the stock market, and that did very well because I knew tech very well. Then it was 2015, dark winter night. I'm with my second cousin, one of the 2 people that came back from my mom's side. And I went on the wrong side of the road. I was supposed to yield and didn't. Dark winter night, the yield sign was covered by the snowbank, and I ended up on the wrong side of the road, and I hit a lift-kitted pickup truck doing basically 30 miles an hour each. This was not a fender bender. It was intense. The pickup truck went kind of up and over my car. Fortunately, that Volkswagen Passat was, I used to call it the tank. German engineered steel trap of a car. Totally saved my life. Both airbags deployed. The lift-kitted pickup truck. Everyone was okay and definitely rattled, but no physical permanent damage, no deaths, which is huge because it would have been my fault. But this was the quarter-life existential crisis because this is the second chance my dad never got. And that's when I really looked at my life. And that's what mortality will do. Death of a pet, death of a loved one, near-death experience, terminal illness, you name it. That was the 11 years ago. And that was the moment that I looked at my life and I said, okay, I'm not reaching my full potential. I've done very well, but I'm definitely resting on talent. This is the second chance my dad never got, and I'm going to do it right. I quit drinking. I got all in on fitness. I found personal development, self-improvement, and personal growth. I started a little company called Alan Lazaros LLC, what you'll never learn in school but desperately need to know. And that was 11 years ago. And then I started a podcast, and here we are at Next Level University, 24-person team, 36 one-on-one clients. We produce over 90 podcasts now in my production company, and it's become a whole thing. But it's still that same through line of, wait a minute, I was a straight A student. I went to some of the best colleges in the world. Why wasn't I taught time management, productivity, courage, humility, virtue, relationships, finance, fitness, communication? What? Massachusetts arguably is one of the most educated per capita places on earth. And I was a straight A student, and I was missing all this personal growth, self-improvement, and personal development stuff. Like, we have really messed that up. Mm-hmm. And so I've since analyzed this upside down and sideways, if you can't tell, because I was fascinated and frustrated. And I realized there's 3 things we all have to master. We have to master personal development, which is understanding ourselves. We have to master social development, which is relationships and building trust in people and other people, understanding other people. And then you have to master professional development. The traditional education system in Massachusetts and the US, whatever, that's all I've experienced. They do a good job at professional development. They do not do a good job at all at personal development.
No.
And that's why I decided, okay, I'm going to start a company that is focused on success and personal development principles. The stuff that what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. Desperately was in all caps. Good luck getting speeches at high schools and colleges with that tagline, by the way. But anyways, so that's still what I do today in my own unique way. That's why I'm here.
I'm definitely your cheerleader because I'm a teacher as well. And so I was very fortunate to experience really great administration in the school I was in Canada. Not that this is common throughout the schools in Canada, but we took on Stephen Covey, Sean Covey, Leader in Me, Seven
Nice.
Habits. So understanding that it does come from within, the leadership
Nice.
comes from within. And so I totally hear you, like having that sort of big dream picture of what can be better for the human race, really.
Lisa,
Big, big,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to vibe for a second. I have a book club I've been running for 5, 6 years, and there's some people in Canada that are there. And obviously, I'm passionate about education and self-education in particular. Kamloops, I have a couple people in book club from Kamloops. They learned the cognitive biases. They learned all kinds of stuff that we didn't. And
Oh,
I'm fascinated by that. Like, because I joked with them. I said, in Massachusetts, like, your class rank it was very important, you know? And in Canada, it's not that way, I guess. That's their take, not mine. We were chomping at the bit to see who could become valedictorian. But it's like, and I think that my education did very well with science, technology, engineering, mathematics, business, and finance and professional development. But for some reason, I've been in book club and I've been learning from people in Canada, and they had a lot of this stuff in school, similar to what you're saying about Stephen Covey. Like, we
yeah.
didn't learn Stephen Covey stuff at all.
And he's from the US. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. So I think there is some shifts going on, but we talked about this with another guest, what was the original purpose of school?
It was,
Yeah.
from
Industrial
what I
revolution,
understand,
right?
it was to
Yeah, to
create
create
workers.
workers
And that's all it
in
stayed, was
many
to
ways,
create
right? So
workers.
that competition.
Whether you're a topper or a blue collar worker. And mostly it was created for the blue collar worker to keep the rich people rich.
Yeah.
It's it's so important that we learn about ourselves
Oh,
and
yes.
each other and not just resume cover letter stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we're on a similar
Well,
mission with that.
that's
And
Exactly.
so
the exact same, really. Like, I came from a blue collar family, and I mean, obviously, we're not much different. Like, everybody grew up with hand me down clothes. I remember I had a pair of my brother's pants, and I was past the hippie years, so the bell bottoms weren't cool. And my mom made me wear these bell bottoms that were so big that I would trip over I'd be running across the playground. Next thing I'd be on my face. But now I forget where I was going with that. It's the same in the blue collar worker. Like, that's, to be a man meant you had to work hard.
yeah.
And like, even I remember, and I'm starting to question my memory a little bit about stuff my dad said, because in older life he wasn't like this, but it was like, truck drivers are lazy. Because I wanted to be a truck driver at one point, and they're lazy. So I got that in my head, that I'm truck drivers are lazy, and I ended up being a truck driver at the end of my career because I laid
Nice.
stone for 37 years, and my body's so broken now from that
Yeah.
mentality that I had to do better than you laying stone. And my whole
Yeah.
life was focused on work, and yours sounds like the exact same drive.
I woke up from a lot of that after my car accident where it was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm on autopilot and it's time to redesign a life that's fulfilling. And I still think work ethic's great, but if it's work ethic in the wrong direction because of conditioning,
Yes.
Yeah.
then it's not, right? And now I work really, really harder than I did before, actually, but at least now it's aligned and it's by design and it's what
Yeah.
I'm here to do and it's what I choose to do rather than like I need to prove my value to my stepdad or something like that. You know, it's that stuff is it's important to realize how much that stuff drives us unconsciously.
Oh, yes. And at that moment where you had your car accident, like you're looking back now and go, I know I needed to do something. I needed to shift something. So what sort of steps did you take? What sort of things did you jump into? Who did you talk to? Who was your coach or mentor? Like what kind of helped with the shift?
Personal development books was a huge part of it.
Books were a
And I
big one.
went through, yeah, huge, huge. So I went through all of them. I mean, not all of them, but like Stephen Covey, Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, Og Mandino, Napoleon Hill,
Yeah,
uh, and then beyond that too.
yeah,
And when you do that, John Maxwell was a big part of it too. You realize that a lot of it is good and a lot of it's garbage, and you got to take, it's like a buffet, take what you think you can apply to your life, and all of it's valuable but not equally valuable. And then I've been kind of studying the personal development industry for 11 years, and what I've come to understand now is that knowledge is not power, behavior changes.
yeah,
Yeah.
Behavior changes. And I think that's where we have to focus is you can learn time management and you can learn productivity and you can learn humility and that kind of thing, like about it intellectually. But if you can't change your own behavior,
yeah.
then that's not going to do anything for your life. But yeah, so books were a big part of it. I read a book called The Top Five Regrets of the Dying by a woman named Bronnie Ware that was really powerful. And I just kind of started rebuilding myself. Oh, the other thing that helped me tremendously was fitness.
Oh, yes.
I got really into health and fitness model, fitness competitor, fitness coach, and I dialed fitness up to 11. I'm still obsessed with it. But I wasn't before that,
Mm,
right? I had done some fitness, but it wasn't fully a lifestyle yet. And now, I mean, it's every single day,
yeah.
genuinely. Like, yeah, I live and breathe fitness now.
Mm,
It's funny how, like, coming from the blue collar side, it's like, because people are pretty tight and people are living in fear about finances, about paying their bills. And I was the same way, even though I made really good money the whole time. But of course, you elevate your life, you got a bigger mortgage and you do stuff. So it's like,
yeah, yeah.
it's still, no matter what you do, it's still paycheck to paycheck. And till you get to a certain point. And I remember thinking, oh, I can't afford to do that. Oh, I can't afford to do that. And it's like, and that's the biggest myth we tell ourselves, because if we go pay for the 800 or $1,000 self-development class for the weekend, we learn that much more about ourselves, and our productivity at work gets so much more that all of a sudden we're making a little bit more money, and it develops and our personality changes, like you said earlier. And it's like, at the first self-development class, I had been in 12-step programs for decades before this, and
Nice.
I had this huge epiphany after they're trying to upsell me to the next course, and I'm angry. Like, how dare they waste my weekend trying to upsell me to this next course? And it dawns on me, I want to go home and die. That's where my life was. And here they are throwing me this life preserver that my life might change. And I'm out at my motorcycle, and that's when it dawned on me that it's like, I'll invest more into my motorcycle than I'll invest into me.
There
What's
you go.
wrong with that
That's the big
picture?
thing, right?
That's the problem.
And I share that a lot because somebody might hear it that
Yeah.
invests in toys but not themselves. In fact, one friend of mine that I've known for 20 or 30 years, he's like, oh, it must be nice you're living a semi-retired life and not at the grind of the blue collar worker. And I'm like, it's by design, dude. Like, I've changed my life. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden he's selling one really nice Corvette to buy another brand new one. And in Canada, that's probably a $200,000 purchase, or 180 anyways. By the time he pays interest on it, and he's going, oh, I'm going to be working till I'm 70. Well, that's the choices you're making.
Yeah,
Not,
it's the
Yeah,
choices. It all
it's
comes down to the
choices, right?
choices. Yeah,
It's
it's always the
choices.
choices. The self development piece, if you don't, why would you invest in a home that you didn't believe would get better? Like, you don't renovate your kitchen unless you think that it will appreciate in value.
yeah,
Value.
And I think the same thing is with ourselves. If you don't believe in your own value or you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to
Yes.
invest in yourself. And
100%.
and when you do invest in yourself, it gives you self-respect. It gives you self-esteem. It gives you self-belief and self-worth. And that was one of the things that I was definitely missing. I was good at external achievement, but I
Yeah.
wasn't investing in myself. And
Yeah.
I flipped that script. I mean, I've invested 150 grand or more into myself since then, probably more. um, mentors, coaches, every book I could get my hands on, courses online. Uh, I actually pay for the Audible subscription that's 24 credits per year for like $250 or whatever it
Yeah,
is. Like
that's
Yeah, we
like
do this.
us.
We do the
I'm
same.
always Audible's been tremendous. But you just keep feeding your mind and you keep listening and looking at good things and investing in yourself. And I coach 36 people now. They're all crushing it. I mean, we just weren't taught to invest in ourselves.
No,
We were taught to get the nice car and the nice house, but we need to start with the library.
100%.
Yes, yes, yeah. And this is kind of like one of the things we're talking about. So you said you learned a lot through books. We're
Mm-hmm.
finding we're learning a lot through the guests so that we have
Nice.
on our show, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
being exposed, so getting out there and kind of inviting people into your space and hearing and listening to other people. And one of the things as well you mentioned, Alan, was the fact that knowledge is not power; it's knowledge and action. And I know
Mm-hmm.
books, like books were very, very big for us,
Yeah.
but also for us being part of personal development classes where we had to take action. So
Nice.
doing things that were uncomfortable. And I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
you probably did many of things that were uncomfortable in order to stretch yourself.
Doing it right now.
There you go.
Not anything against you guys.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no.
I realized I like one-on-one coaching better because I definitely I have a strong amount of self-belief. I'm grateful for that. But socially, I realized Kevin and I joke, my business partner. I am a coach who tolerates podcasting. He's a podcaster who tolerates coaching. I like the one-to-one better. So I do things that are uncomfortable all the time. This is one of them. I never felt like a super likable dude. But I'm here to, like I said, I don't make my decisions based on what's comfortable. I make my decisions based on what I believe the high road is. And I believe the high
I
road is
like
always
that.
the almost always the one that takes the most courage. Almost
Yeah,
always.
but yes, I
What
agree.
I struggle with that too, about not being liked and not being part of, and because I look at, I don't understand how this world thinks. Like I can't wrap my head around how most people think. And now that I've even shifted more in
Yeah.
personal development, I can't understand more. So the gap of getting separated from people is huge. However, having said that, having conversation with more like-minded people like we're having right
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
the gap's going back the other way a little bit. I mean, it's a slow process, especially when you've lived a 40 or 50-year life in self-development area, but I'm not gonna say the wrong area because it got me to where I am today, where my brain would have said the wrong area before.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's like, we just need to be patient with ourselves too and realize we're right where we're supposed to be and that we're gonna end up where we're supposed to be.
When did you guys get the personal development bug?
Well,
I don't mean bug as a negative thing. I just when
No.
you can
oh,
tell
the
you guys
bug,
have it. Yeah.
it,
When did you
it
get it?
was
Hooked on
probably that
phonics is the
moment.
joke.
I won't even say it was that moment that I got thrown the life preserver about signing up for the next course, because I begrudgingly went in and paid for the next course. So
Okay.
then fast forward, I kind of justified for me, and this is about 5 or 6, no, maybe 7 years ago. It was
Yep.
before COVID. And I work in the movie business, so I can take time off whenever I want. Never been to San Francisco, and that's where the course was supposed to be. So it's like,
Okay.
woo, I don't drink or drug, but so my version of parties, get on my Harley and ride my ass off. So I was
Okay.
gonna throw the Harley in the back of the pickup and drive down to San Francisco and go for a week before and see it and a week after and just have a great, and then do the course in between. Well, then I got time and it was cheap and I didn't want to take the time off work, hence the dollar value. I'm not willing to lose $2,500 a week or more.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID hit. I even lost my plane ticket. Uh, then all of a sudden, halfway through COVID, when things started to open up, they decided they were going to bring it up to Canada because everybody in
Nice.
Canada was asking for their money back.
Oh, what course was
And
it?
it
It's a
was,
US company.
I think
Yeah.
it was 5 grand or 4,500 or something like that for it was a 7 day intense food, lodging, everything included.
Nice.
We can share more
And
with you if you'd like to know.
Yeah, no
so
worries.
I go to this course and I begrudgingly go to this course because I was completely negative about COVID and I still don't believe in it, and that's a different story. So the drive to the course, I had to go to the bathroom and there was nowhere to go to the bathroom. Nothing was open. Even the provincial where you pull off the side of the highway, the porta potties there were locked up. And so by the time I actually get to the vent, I'm just irate, except I can kind of hide it a little bit. So long story short though, I actually showed up and I let the facilitators, I'm going to use this word, punch me in the face and take it in. And I remember this one moment that the coach, I talked about helping somebody out, and he goes, and what do you get out of that? He goes, you get all bitter and resentful because you don't get what you want. And it's like,
If you're enjoying this conversation, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up, a supportive comment or question, and for you to subscribe to the Brearleys on YouTube so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. If you know someone who could benefit from this conversation, please share it with them. You never know when one story can make all the difference. And if you'd like to connect with our growing community, join our private Facebook group, Soulmates and Suitcases Podcast. Tell your story, amplify your voice. We'd love to have you there. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
how I went to bite back and something stopped me. And then I had noticed Lisa there. However, I kind of stayed away from her because I
This is where you two
wanted,
met?
yep.
Yeah, we met in
Very
So,
person.
nice.
but the story is actually even funnier because we got to the last day and I went to Lisa, I thought this went till tomorrow. And she goes, so did I. And I went, well, I guess we're going, or she goes, I don't have to be back to Calgary till tomorrow night. And I said, well, I guess we're going for dinner tonight. And that's how I won't say, obviously it started with us kind of getting to know each other a little bit, but I had been in 12-step programs. I knew enough that I wanted Lisa to get what she could get out of the program. And so that's how we got together, and we've been together ever since.
But
And
that's awesome that you two met. So really good thing came of it. That's awesome. And you guys started this podcast together. So if that company didn't do what it did, you guys wouldn't be here. So
no,
good with the bad, I guess, right?
Exactly.
100%.
And like, I'm grateful for it, even though it didn't end, I mean, it didn't end horrible, but I just decided that I know what I want in my life, and it's not that because they don't respect people.
Yeah. Well,
And
if they don't
that's-
respect people,
That's
then
high, and like some people, the respect isn't that high with them, but for me, it's like one of the top shelf things is
you know it.
respect.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
And,
Got
and
it.
so when you started, Alan, like the shifting of, okay, I need to do something different after your major accident, what did you experience a lot of challenges, whatever they
Oh, yeah,
were?
tons. So I had claustrophobia.
Oh,
I definitely had some PTSD post car accident. I kept getting pulled over because I was too far on my side of the road because I was too afraid to cross the double yellows. I kept popping my tire because I was too far on the right side of the road. Getting back in a car was hard. So I don't like to make it seem like it just happened. The PTSD was there and the post traumatic growth was there, and I have no problem getting in a car now. I feel much better. But really, I just started working on myself from the inside out.
yeah.
And I started every book I can get my hands on, every course. Like I said, I started naive, so I wasted some money on some snake oil salesman for sure.
Yeah.
And now I'm here 11 years later. I have my own sort of personal development company. But what really shifted that I think is at the center of it is I decided to start living for, this is what came to me, which is I am here to reach my own potential and help others do the same.
Yeah.
I have that to reach my own unique potential and help others do the same. I have it written on my background here. I have it written on this computer over here. I have it written on the background of my phone. Now the vehicles in which I do that is through coaching, training, and podcasting. But that is it for me because it's funny. I'm a coach now. That's great. I'm doing very well. I'm very grateful. I was the most coachy kid ever. Like, I look back, I was helping people with their resumes, I was helping people with their cover letters. I was always existential, talking about life, having conversations like this. I was never really big on small talk. I never really cared about most of the stuff people talk about. I just wanted, I really was curious. And this came to me too, looking back. I looked around in my childhood and I saw a lot of really unfulfilled people. And I mean really unfulfilled people. I used to be too scared to say this, but now I don't really, I don't want to say I don't care. I'm courageous enough to say this. I playfully refer to where I grew up as the Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Okay? Everyone had seemed like they hated their job. Marriage scared the hell out of me. You guys don't even like each other, never mind love each other. Right? And as a kid, I was observant. I looked around like there's a lot of drinking. You guys are obviously miserable. There's a lot of fighting. You guys love the weekend, hate your job. You're all struggling. Like, there's got to be another way. There's got to be another way. And there is. There totally is. There's absolutely another way. It's not easy.
No.
It's not easy, but there is another way. And so my mom and I got in an argument in my early 20s. And keep in mind, this was my ego version. 21-year-old male ego version. Hadn't worked through my stuff yet. She said, why does intelligence matter so much to you? Why isn't it enough to just be nice? And I was like, that's got to be the dumbest question I've ever heard, but okay. And I said, because I'm trying to figure out the formula to not end up old and miserable like everybody else.
Yeah.
And even in my 20s, my early 20s, that was my goal. There's got to be a formula, because I was a big math guy. There's a formula for everything. In science, there's a formula for everything. Seriously, everything. I'm like, fulfillment, happiness, success. Like, there's got to be a formula. Turns out there is. There totally is. And I've been working on it, and I help people with it. And it's not it. Like, there's formula, like earn more, spend less, invest the difference. It's a simple formula to find. People say financial freedom. It's, you have to work hard to be financially free, unless generational wealth. But my point is you can design a life you love. You can. Most people don't. Most people won't. That's the reality. If you look at the statistics, only 4% of people have clear written goals. Only 4%. You can research this. 4% of people have clear written goals based on the latest research. That is atrocious. That means we don't believe in ourselves. That means we are not designing our futures. That means we are not living lives of meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
And I wasn't either. But now I am. And I'm trying to, I used to be martyring myself to try to convince other people to do it. I don't do that anymore. Now I am very selective with who I coach and train and podcast. And if you have high humility, high work ethic, and a high improvement orientation, there's very little that you can't achieve if you give me the long term. The long term, like a decade, very little is impossible given a decade. There's a book called The Art of Impossible with Stephen Kotler. I interviewed him probably 4 or 5 years ago now. And he says very little is impossible given a decade. And I just think we think short term. Like, I can't do anything today. I'm going to build $1 million company today. Nope, not possible. Give me a decade. I could do it.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. We don't believe we're capable of much because we're thinking short term. Nobody can do much in 2 days.
No.
But in 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, a lot can be accomplished. And I think that that's hopefully something for anyone listening, that it's like, yeah, you work out for a week, it's not going to do anything. But if you work out a little bit for years, it can change your whole life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Actually, we did an activity, and just in connection with what you're saying, we did an activity in one of our classes, was to make your goal 10 years out.
Oh, yeah.
And so make that goal 10 years out and then come back. I don't know if it was 5 years, 1 year, and
Nice.
I don't know, like
Quarterly.
literally come back and go, well, what's the next step? And I know Scott had done this activity, and 10 years out was having his brother back in his life, and literally within the year.
My brother was.
Whoa.
So like, you know, when you know that projection is there and you want that growth, it's crazy what will happen when you see it, when you can envision it, right?
And that was after 25 or 35 years of not talking.
Well,
Now, I won't say we're back in the same boat.
No, but at least it's open.
We struggle with a relationship because of our past and with what's happened and how we kind of even interact today. Like my brother was in Thailand just recently and he never even heard me say, take my truck. All he heard was, oh, you might not be insured. Well, I called the insurance company and found out he was insured to drive with, what do you call it? International driver's license to drive my truck.
They have so much
like
previous
we don't hear
story,
each other
story and history.
So
And with that sort of understanding, did you find, Alan, that you like were coming up to either your family or friends, people that weren't really aligned or jiving with you when you started to shift?
yeah, that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Being very candid with you guys, I don't struggle a ton with the self-discipline stuff. I don't struggle a ton. Like I have 7,234 coaching sessions. I've been coaching all day on a Saturday today. I've worked out every day for 1,565 days. The self-discipline stuff and the tracking and the metrics and the habits and the priorities and all that stuff, the productivity stuff always came fairly easy once I learned it. And even back in school, like I got straight A's, but, and it's scary to say this, but it wasn't that hard for me. Like I was very naturally gifted in school, right? Particularly the math and sciences. But the social aspect, oh, terrible. Just atrociously bad. Like for me, the work ethic and the discipline and the consistency, that stuff is natural. What is not natural is fitting in. What is not natural is getting along with others. So when I shifted and went to self-improvement, personal development, personal growth, fitness, mindset, peak performance. Yeah, of course. I lost all my friends. Of course. Quit drinking, no drugs, no alcohol, no vices, zero, except for caffeine. Don't take it from me. But the truth is, yes, I 100%, it was my social life I believe the hardest part of being successful is one of two things. And when I say successful, I mean fulfilled, aligned success. I mean internal and external. I mean health, wealth, and love. Healthy, wealthy, and in love. That's what I define as success. Healthy, wealthy, and in love. So if you want to be healthy, wealthy, and in love, I think it requires one of two things. Either you're like me and you have tons of self-belief and you're very competent and capable, even though people hate when you say it, and you struggle with relationships, or you don't believe in yourself enough.
Yeah.
So I had to get rid of toxic people from my life. I had to sail away. I had to outgrow, and I had to be okay with leaving people behind. That has, to this day, been the hardest part.
yeah,
And some people are already great. They have the wrong people in their life. That was me. And yeah, of course, you work on yourself too, of course. And some people just don't believe in themselves almost at all. So they constantly tear other people down. They're jealous and envious. They don't get mentors. They have a fixed mindset. They're constantly talking about things that don't matter. And they're not looking inward at their inadequacies. And I always tell people, like, you are not more successful because you don't believe enough in what you already believe. You're not more successful because you have blind spots. You don't understand yourself, others, in the world. And the internet is so overly affirming. It's like, it's so like, oh, you're already enough and all this stuff. It's like, no, you're wildly inadequate. So am I. It's okay. Let's get better. And I don't mean intrinsically spiritually. You're not inadequate spiritually. But you definitely have blind spots and weaknesses that you have to look at. And mine was, I was a tremendous coward. I was a social coward. I was courageous behind the scenes when no one was watching. And I was a coward in public. I was a coward around people. I didn't tell people what I really think. And I didn't tell people what I really believe. Because what I really think and really believe can be very triggering, in case you guys haven't noticed. Okay? Because to be honest with you, there are some people in my past that I think are very lazy. They are not successful because they are victims. They constantly blame everyone but themselves. They never look in the metaphorical mirror. They get triggered anytime you go within Hail Mary distance of their inadequacies, and they are the problem. But they don't point to themselves. They point to everyone else. You can't solve a problem that you're not willing to accept is your own responsibility. And so no one wants to hear, hey, you're lazy, you're irresponsible, you've never taken responsibility for your own life, you don't believe in yourself, and you know it, and that's why you puff up all the time in public, but behind the scenes you do nothing. Why would someone with level 10 self-belief have level 2 goals?
True.
Think of someone who comes off super confident.
Yeah.
Why don't they achieve more? Why don't they do anything? It's not real. And a lot of times those people are entitled and arrogant and bullies, and they pick on people, and they tear others down instead of lifting them up. And they piss me off, obviously. But at the end of the day, some people are unbelievable behind the scenes, but they're afraid to shine in public. That was me. And other people are constantly trying to look like the guy or the gal at the expense of everybody else, and they're really deeply insecure behind the scenes, and they have very low self-belief. So you either, one, need a better social circle like I needed, and when you get a better social circle, you're gonna fly, baby. You're gonna find the eagles, and they're gonna put wind in your sail. You're gonna fly. It's gonna be great. Or you have to admit you're a duck. It's okay that you're a duck. Stop pretending you're a golden eagle. And you have to learn how to build self-belief. But you're not going to build self-belief if you keep pretending you have it.
I love it because that's kind of where I'm at, still building. And you know what? I hope when I laying in the hospital bed at the end that I still believe that. Because if I still believe that, there's room for growth even laying in the hospital bed when I'm going to go, because it's like I've spent my whole life. I got court ordered at 15 to go to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Wow.
And so that gives you an idea how unmanageable my life was. So, and I'm only 23 years sober. So, and I don't say that lightly. And the reason I say that is just because of 15 till now there's a huge difference. And
Congrats, that's huge. 23 years.
But it also took me 40 years being around the program before I stayed, and another 15 before life got better. Or started to get better.
I grew up around a lot of alcohol. Alcohol was a big part of my life too. And quitting drinking has got to be one of the best decisions I've ever made. I mean, my life has gotten 100 times better since I quit.
Well, yeah, and it's so aligned with your wellness, fitness, exercise goals. Yeah.
Back in the
That's
beginning,
actually how I quit. I cared so much about fitness that I couldn't drink anymore.
Yeah.
Because I replaced it. I replaced my obsession, and fitness became my obsession.
Yes,
and
there you go.
What's the worst thing for fitness? Booze, right?
Yeah. So. In the beginning, I've been wanting to ask this question for a while. How much pushback did you get from all the clatter outside of the people when you decided to quit this lifestyle that you had up here of being the great professional?
Yeah, tons.
Yeah,
that was the hardest part. I joke about this because it wasn't every day, but those first 2 years starting my own company, there were tears. There was a lot of tears. You're a podcaster now. You're a book builder now. Like, wow, it was bad. Guys, it was bad. It was like bad. And honestly, I don't even want to sugarcoat it. It was really bad. Yeah. I don't associate with any of those people anymore, but you don't realize how disrespectful people are when you grow up being disrespected. It's like the best metaphor, and I only know this because I've coached so much. So I've coached hundreds of people, if not thousands at this point, from all over the world for the last 11 years. Fitness coaching, mindset coaching, peak performance coaching, business coaching, you name it, business consulting. All different ethnicities, all different backgrounds, all different cultures, all different countries, literally all different countries. The reason I'm saying this is because I'm not just talking. I see the Instagram account and the bank account. I see the fitness photos and how they feel about themselves when they're by themselves. I see the wedding photos and the marriage. I literally coach couples, okay? What matters more, the wedding photos or the marriage? The marriage, right? The marriage. But it always looks good on Instagram, right? So the truth of the matter is like, what I've found is that if you did grow up rough like me, you have a different Richter scale. So in Massachusetts, if there was an earthquake, everyone would freak. But in California, it's like, that's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Wouldn't even hit the Richter scale if it's a little one, right? The same thing is true when you grow up rough. I didn't recognize how much I was disrespected because I grew up in an environment that had a lot of disrespect.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 37 and I'm going, wait a minute, they were 37 when I was, oh, whoa. And I've also coached some people that had very happy childhoods, okay? And that's good for you. Great. But yeah, no, you don't recognize how disrespected you are when it's all you've ever known and you have low self-worth. And fortunately, I had high self-belief, thank goodness. Self-belief is I can build the castle. Self-worth is I deserve to live here and I'm going to protect and honor the castle and I'm not going to let my friends spill beer on the carpets. And so hopefully that lands for I think everybody struggles with one of those two. Everybody. For me, self-belief through the roof, in case you can't tell. Self-worth was in the tank. Okay, Goodwill Hunting was a good metaphor for my life. No self-worth, was abused. Tons of self-belief, brilliant. Okay? Now, some people have inflated self-worth. They think they're great by default, right? And that's actually a problem. They need to be humble. But some people have high self-belief, low self-worth, like me. Those are the heroes and the martyrs. Givers need to set limits because takers have none. And then some people have low self-belief and low self-worth. Those are the victims. They feel helpless and hopeless. And then the villains are inflated self-worth with no self-belief. So they'd rather tear down your building than build their own. And the mature thing is to become the guide. The guide has high self-belief and high self-worth. This is when Harry Potter breaks the Elder Wand and throws it away because he's enough as he is. Okay, and Ron's like, no. That's the Elder Wand. Well, Ron's still a hero. Ron hasn't conquered his villain yet. He hasn't tackled his own ego. He's still insecure. He still needs the Elder Wand to be enough. And no, you can't start out like that. Like a lot of people try to, I'm 17 and I'm the guide now. It's like, you got to go through the hero's journey. You got to face more life before you become the guide. And I'm not the guide necessarily. I think it's an archetype. We all have a victim, villain, hero, and guide inside of us. And we have to try to become more and more guide. And that's how you build self-respect and self-worth and self-esteem and self-belief and all these things, but from the inside out. And you got to figure out which one is your tendency. So if you have inflated self-worth and you stick your nose up to other people and you always are driving a car you can't afford to try to make yourself look better than you really are, you need to work on self-belief and humble yourself. Yeah. If you're the martyr who's always trying to help everyone else at the expense of themselves because you have low self-worth but tons of self-belief, so you have tons of abundance and you want to give, then you have another issue. And if you're a victim, basically you need to build some self-belief and self-worth at all, and you need to get help. And the help is out there. Just make sure you don't get taken advantage of, because there's a lot of companies, to you guys' point, that take advantage of the victims. And they take advantage of people that really want help that are naive. I was naive.
However, though, even if you are, those courses get you to a different level. To where you
That's true. That's fair.
There is always something to learn from whatever experience that you have.
Like I know right now I'm looking for the next level.
Nice.
And I haven't quite found it yet. However, I'm looking. And it's like you brought up books before, like audiobooks. And it's like, for my brainwaves, audiobooks are the only way I can learn. Like I'll read a paragraph, and by the next paragraph, I'll forget what the next paragraph is. However, if I read it or listen and I'm active, I can actually take it in. And it's funny you talk about the hero's journey. We got turned on to this show. It's called Finding Joe. It's on YouTube. And it's about different religions.
The hero's journey.
It's about the hero's journey, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
Nice.
For people to listen to.
And
hero's journey is important to understand.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, go ahead.
And that we have it. I wanted to ask you, so how, through your coaching business, through your podcasting, how are you kind of helping people see their fullest potential? Yeah, well, one of the things that I have learned over the last 11 years is that there's a term called self-efficacy in the psychology, and it's the layman term, or the more common term is self-belief. And if you don't have self-belief, you're in a lot of trouble.
And what I mean by that is self-efficacy is the amount of certainty you have in your own ability to figure things out and to achieve things. Do you believe in your ability to create external outcomes in advance? People say, I want financial freedom. It's like, do you believe that you can achieve financial freedom? Because if you don't, you're not going to learn how.
Yeah.
And I also think financial freedom is a little bit of a fugazi because the people who have it usually grinded for 20 years. But
Yeah.
the point is why would you take a journey that you didn't believe would work out? And belief is subconscious, not conscious.
Yeah.
Subconscious. So a lot of people think they believe in themselves, but they don't realize that unconsciously they don't. Subconsciously they don't. And I didn't think I believed in myself that much, but then I learned and met other people like, oh my goodness, my subconscious, I mean, I believe very little is not possible for me. So you got to start there. And so I have my own sort of assessment that I take people through. I've studied DISC assessment, Hexaco, Enneagram, all these different personality tests. They're all great. They're all their own flavor. They're all a different frame looking at the same thing. I have my own that I use in coaching that helps me identify what your core wound is, what's your syntax, what percentage of each, and then what your doom loop and success loop is. A doom loop is I don't believe in myself, so I don't try. And when I don't try, I get no results, which makes me believe in myself even more, even less.
Less.
So that's a doom loop. That's not my doom loop. My doom loop is I'm afraid to be hated, so then I don't speak up. And when I don't speak up, I feel like a coward. And when I feel like a coward, I feel ashamed of it. So then I end up saying a bunch of things to try to make up for the fact that I was a coward. And then people hate me. So it's like all of our core wounds are self-perpetuating themselves.
Oh, yeah.
And so I have to work on self-respect and self-worth and courage, social courage. 80% of my success is going to come down to social courage, telling people what I really think. 80% of someone else's success, if they don't believe in themselves, is going to come down to having a growth mindset, failing forward, being willing to fail forward, being willing to be seen as a failure in order to be successful, in order to learn and grow. And then there's a couple other ones. But ultimately, it all comes down to knowing which one you need to work on, self-belief or self-worth, and then getting to work on it. And then I have metrics and habits, and we do the reverse engineering thing that you guys talked about. So I do dreams. So dreams is 10 years plus, and then you have like the decade, and then you have years, and then you have quarters, and then you have months, and then you have weeks, and then you have days, and then you have minutes, hours, minutes, and seconds. So I reverse engineer your dreams down to this second. You have seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, quarters, years, decades, lifetime. And all of it rolls up to what you ultimately want. And it is a formula. And we track metrics, habits, skills, identity, all the different things to make sure that your life works out. I call it peak performance tracking. I call it peak performance coaching. I do business coaching. I do fitness coaching. I do finance coaching. It all is a formula. You can be exponentially more successful over time, but you can't do that winging it. You can't just shoot an arrow up in the air, hope it lands someplace nice. You have to have a system that improves, and you have to improve yourself. And you have to be inside out, not outside in. Inside out. You got to start with you, what you have to work on the inside, what skills you have to develop, and then develop a process towards your goals and dreams. And honestly, it's very complex because the goal you set, what we want is a byproduct of the goal. I'll give you an example. We do a 10-pound and 10-week challenge every year. The goal is to lose 10 pounds in 10 weeks. Okay, no big deal. What you really want is to be fit and healthy and feel comfortable in your own skin. It's a byproduct.
Yeah.
But if you say, I want to be fit and comfortable and fit in my own skin and feel good in my own skin, I want to feel good at the beach, that is too vague.
Yeah.
The people doing the 10-pound and 10-week challenge end up with that. So the things we want in life of health, wealth, and love are byproducts. Health is a byproduct of exercising consistently. Wealth is a byproduct of intelligent financial decision making and tracking your finances. Love is a byproduct of emotional regulation and empathy and compassion. See, we get it all wrong because we're focused on the effect, not the cause.
Yeah.
And you can't want the effect without the cause. And the cause is usually something we have to give up. Mm-hmm. And so at the end of the day, I just help people. As an engineer, that's really what I'm doing. I'm helping people point at the right goal, create an exact peak performance tracking system of metrics and habits to get there, and then making sure that the byproduct is the life that they want.
I
and the
love that.
person they actually aspire to be. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yes, no, I love that it feels very tangible.
Final pause. If you've got a message on your heart and want to be our guest, don't be shy. We'd love to hear from you. Visit forwardwalkingchoices.com, scroll to the Soulmates and Suitcases podcast section, and click apply here. Now back to the show.
Like that's the concept, right? It seems very tangible in regards to clarity in seeing how to get where you want to go.
It's all broken down to the smallest minutia, like goals, priorities, metrics, and habits that all roll up to the dream that you have and the person you want to become, and every single bit of it is measured. I have 36 clients. They all have a peak performance tracker. They all are in a spreadsheet every single day. I have 24 team members. They all do the same thing. My entire company. See, we talk about DRI, directly responsible individual. We talk about KPI, key performance indicator, and we talk about peak performance tracking. And peak performance people always ask me, what's the most important habit? The most important habit is habit tracking. Because we all drift.
Yeah.
I'm tracking the amount of time on task right now.
Yeah.
Right now, you don't have to be as nuts as me. I know I'm crazy with this, but you got to dial up you got to dial up the reverse engineer. Like I always try to tell people, imagine engineers didn't exist. No math and science. Okay, there goes this camera. There goes Zoom. There goes this phone. There goes computers. See, engineers reverse engineer things. We build things. Why not build a magnificent life that you love? You can reverse engineer it. You really can. And it has to be unique to you, though, because we're not phones, right? It has to be unique to your core values and your goals and your strengths and weaknesses and your innate ability and your soul, mind, body, heart, and soul. But you can do it. And if you don't believe that, then you're just going to wing it and then hope it ends up nice, which it never does, right? And then people are like, oh, it'll all work out. No, it won't. It'll all work out? No, it won't. How many people do you two know that it didn't work out?
Yep.
Lots.
Many.
I know
See, that's bad advice.
two men in particular that worked their whole lives. One guy, I think George he's if not 70, he's pushing 70, and he's still slinging concrete.
Yeah. And
He says he loves it, and he's fit. Oh my God, is he fit? Like he's not only is he slinging concrete, he goes to the gym on a regular basis. Like
maybe he is fulfilled. Maybe it did work
Yeah, I
out
know.
for him.
I know.
That's what we need to.
But I look at
there's
it going,
You look at it though. Everybody has a different
Yeah,
goal
of
on
course.
what they want to achieve. And the two things I'm hearing is clarity, so having clarity, and data driven,
Nice.
right? That's what I'm
Clarity
hearing.
is so critical. But you start out naked, scared, and ignorant, and you don't have any
Yeah.
clarity. You don't know who you are. You don't know who's who. You don't know yourself, others in the world. So you wing it, and you drive off a cliff thinking it's a road, like a self-driving car, and then blame the world or blame the government or blame yourself. When in reality, all of it comes down to, I don't understand myself, others, or the world.
Yeah.
And you're trying
And
to play
that's
chess
okay.
against, and that's okay. But
That's
you have to
okay.
learn it.
Yes.
You have to learn it, and that's the thing that we miss is like, and that's back to what I said at the beginning of the episode, which is what we never learned in school but desperately need to know. I didn't know about core wounds. I didn't learn about vulnerability till I was 29.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Brene Brown exists, right? I mean, there's so much that I didn't learn. And fortunately, I had the curiosity and the eagerness to go learn it after my car accident.
Exactly.
And if
It's we hope that people don't need a car accident, of course,
Yeah.
to shift. You can make a decision right here, right now. Like that's the
Well,
important thing.
from
So
what I understand, it's actually not that simple. Like we need a catastrophic event in our life, most people, in order to get that shift. And yours was a car accident. Mine, I believe, was prostate cancer. However, it took a few years after that of getting to the point where it's like, you need to either want to get living or actually do what your brain's telling you and end it. And that's what the
make a
courses,
choice.
that's what the courses, the self-development got me to do is, well, I shouldn't say that, meeting Lisa and seeing that my life could be different despite
Very nice.
what my head was telling me.
Very nice.
I think
Well,
that's,
what you're referring to is an ego death.
Yes.
yeah,
The traumatic moment, whether it's a car accident or a diagnosis, like the ego death is okay. I'm gonna. I no longer, because I have these three circles of the ego. I'll go brief with it, but the outer circle is who you want others to believe you are. Then the next layer is who you want to believe you are, and then the inner layer is who you really are. And when I had a car accident, that all collapsed, and all three circles became the same. My goal, one of my goals in life, is to try to keep those three circles the same.
Okay.
Who I want others to see me as, who I want to see me as, and who I really am, I want them to be the same. Whereas in high school, we want people to think we're better than we are, right? Particularly men. Okay? I think women are much more humble. I do. They just are. Statistically. Not all women, but statistically, they're more humble. And I think the humble pie of the traumatic moment creates an ego death. And hopefully that ego death gets us to transform our life through humility, courage, and vulnerability to a higher level or a next level and or a higher vibration. And hopefully we heal through that journey. And hopefully we can start living authentically and sincerely and facing our fears. But if you pretend you're not afraid, you're not going to face it. Why would someone face a fear they pretended they didn't have?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
You have to
become real,
admit you're
real
afraid.
real
Yeah.
honest with yourself. It's that moment of it's starting to look at things differently. And that's really all it's about, looking at things differently, because we've been in a certain lane for however many years. And it's to look at things differently with a different lens. And other people can help you do that. That's the
If
big,
you're open to it.
yeah,
Yeah.
If
you're
you're
open.
open to it. But you might not be open and when you get hit in the head with a brick, metaphorically, then maybe you'll be open.
Exactly.
And I had to get hit in the head with a brick with the car accident, and then I was wide open. I was wide open after that. It was like, okay, this ain't working. It's time to reinvent my life. And
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful that I didn't get permanently hurt or kill anyone or be killed, because it gave me a second chance. Like I said, my dad never had. Like, this was the second chance my dad never had. That could have been it, and I'm gonna make sure I make the most of it. So thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it. I
Yeah. I'm going to start wrapping it up here for sure. And so for those who are interested in you, Alan, or maybe your podcast, can you tell us please how people can connect with you?
Yeah, so I used to I used to try to, save the world one person at a time. I don't do that anymore. If I don't resonate with you, that's okay. Not everyone's for everyone. If you do have high humility, and I mean really, I'm good at sniffing this out at this point. I mean really open to getting better, meaning you're willing to look at where you suck. Okay? The quickest way to improve is to look at where you suck most. It's called targeting the constraint. So high humility, high work ethic, and a high improvement orientation. If you are lazy, you're just going to hate me because there's no quick fixes anywhere near me or my company. Kevin and I, we both grew up without fathers, born and raised from very humble beginnings, built everything with our bare hands from scratch. Like, we just don't do the work smart, not hard thing. That we're big on striving, not arriving. We're big on that. So if you want big rewards for minimal effort, ignore us completely. If that's not you, and you really do want to put in the work, and you really do want to build something meaningful, then nextleveluniverse.com, the Next Level University podcast. It's success and personal development in your pocket from anywhere on the planet every single day, completely free. We do an episode every day, and it's 1% improvement in your pocket every day. And when you start improving every day and you really start obsessing about how to get better and how to make your life better and what you can tweak and learning about yourself, others in the world, it's unbelievable what can happen. You get so much momentum. We've got a fitness community. We've got all kinds of sub communities. We've got masterclass. We got book clubs. We're doing a lot of it's free. We've got paid stuff. We've got a group coaching program, one-on-one coaching program. If you're serious, and I mean actually serious, and this is affordable stuff, by the way. I don't believe in the 10 grand, get a credit card, none of that. That's not what we're doing. But if you are really serious about getting better in the real life, not just on Instagram, then you will love Kevin and I, and you'll love what we stand for, and you'll love Next Level University.
I love it. I love your passion and your excitement for not only growing yourself, but helping others to see their amazing potential as well. So we'd like to thank you very much. And for those who are listening to us as well, Alan, if you loved our show with Alan, please make sure leave a comment, thumbs up, and ask Alan questions, or us as well under the show. And for sure, make sure that you subscribe and turn on those notifications, because you never know when amazing shows like this will come up. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about Scott and I, or having a chance to learn more about our books, you can find us at, which I think you will like, the name of our website and our business. It's forwardwalkingchoices.com. So thank you again, Alan. We appreciate it very much. And from Thailand, we always kind of say it in the Thai way. So we'll say Kapun Ka.
Kapun Kra.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you both.
This
I
has been
appreciate you very much.
amazing.
Thank you.
I appreciate it too.
We appreciate you very much. Thank you very much, Alan.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
You as well.
Okay, bye-bye.
Looking for more inspiration around healing, love, growth, and possibility? You can explore our books at payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley Authors. And if today's episode meant something to you, we'd love for you to follow the podcast, share it with someone you care about, or join our Soulmates and Suitcases community online. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you next time.